Most sacred books tell the story of the evolution of creation, starting from primitive beings and simple single-celled organisms to more complex structures. These beings evolve in their skeletal structure and outer shells, eventually forming flesh and muscles. Gradually, limbs develop, and the spine rises, in alignment with the differentiation and elevation of the heavens and the earth. God created 7 heavens and from the earth the counterparts. These heavens and earths refer to those ancient eras in which living creatures dwelled. The mechanism of the heavens and the earth functions like a 3D printing machine, and as the heavens differentiate, they produce increasingly complex beings with more limbs and intricately layered structures, creation upon creation. These are the epochs of creation. All sacred books agree that time has been divided into 12 sections. These 12 sections are further divided into different parts. They are divided into 7 sections, 5 sections, and 3 sections. Each subsection is then divided into various segments. All of this is for the purpose of measuring time, like a clock where one hand represents the focal point of the night, which is the moon, and the other represents the focal point of the day, which is the sun. In continuous succession, during which the 11 planets disappear and reappear when time cycles back to the beginning. You can imagine that the machine of the heavens and the earth is a multi-dimensional printing machine. Some of these dimensions are visible, and others are not. It operates under a system consisting of a set of processes that follow specific commands, to execute them within the scope of physical application or 3-dimensional printing later on, known as the stage of embodiment or materialization. Before the embodiment process, it undergoes complex analysis and pre-representation to study the optimal outcomes, and avoid errors before transitioning into the material world. This system is a complex set of software prepared through code, cipher, or a programming language. Each image has a set of correlations that link a group of constants and variables. This image becomes more complex depending on the complexity of the type of correlation, its degree, and the number of constants and variables involved. All of this is determined by time and place, or according to the system for which the machine of the heavens and the earth was used at that time. Living organisms evolve according to the development of the system of creation that governs multi-dimensional printing, also known as nature. Creation progresses from primitive proteins and simple life materials, such as viruses and bacteria, to larvae, worms, fungi, sponges, plants, and mollusks, then to crustaceans, and eventually to increasingly complex organisms with the emergence of skeletons, leading to mammals. It also evolves from hermaphroditic organisms to those that are unisexual or sexually mixed, and from autotrophic organisms to parasitic ones, marking what is known as the age of parasites. The early primordial era of life is considered a time when primitive algae, fungi, and mollusks appeared in the seas. During this period, the Earth experienced violent volcanic eruptions, with rivers of lava flowing over its surface. Life began as microscopic, jelly-like blobs in warm freshwater seas. These blobs spread by the billions with the ocean waves and merged together, forming tiny living organisms of various shapes, such as mollusks. Some of these descended to the seabed, forming plants. Certain mollusks developed shells around their bodies. This initial development of life on Earth took about 3,000 million years, marking the grand beginning of life on Earth. When the Earth's age reached 540 million years ago, about 4,000 million years after its formation, what is known as the biological explosion occurred, where animal and plant species multiplied and spread widely. We learn about this from the geological layers formed in those ancient times, where we find fossils such as bones, skeletons, and petrified trees from those organisms that are now found all over the earth. Different sacred texts speak about the creation and its layering, creation after creation, and offspring from one another, from a single soul. They illustrate how creation is interwoven and gradually develops, with one thing emerging from another. There is no separate creation. All of creation points to a single encoded informational system, a single creator, and one God. He imprinted his divine signature in this creation through physical, chemical, and mathematical constants, or what is known as the golden ratio, so that every rational person can be certain that what lies beyond nature is a system and commands that do not follow randomness or uncontrolled chaos. Instead, every creation, every movement, and every vibration operates within this invisible network through correlations between the commands of the heavens and the materials of the earth, interacting to produce the final form and image. Just as colors have gradients and the electromagnetic spectrum has frequencies and wavelengths that produce photons of varying energies, the source of those frequencies and vibrations is God. Sound is a combination of one or more audio segments that merge to form words, and words combine to form speech. Sound is simply a form of electromagnetic energy, influencing that network through compression or diffusion to take on a certain form. And just as light has a visible and invisible range, so does sound. Light is the origin of everything. It is the bearer of the command and the memory of the system. From it, everything begins, returns, and is erased. Let us review some quotes from the sacred texts that speak about the unity of existence. That is monotheism.